Congressman, welcome on board. Tell us, you're a member of the House Intelligence Committee. Tell us your reaction to the American-led effort so far.
Thanks, Geraldo, for having me on this evening. I'm a little concerned, just to start out with, that there's a lot of confusion, especially here in the United States with my constituents. And I think even in the Congress there's confusion. We don't know exactly how we got to this point. The president for the last 3 weeks has been relatively quiet. We know that meetings have been taking place at the United Nations, but the vote, let's look back at the vote. The Germans did not side with us. That is a concern to myself and many of my colleagues. I don't like the fact that the Saudis are very quiet. I also do not like that the president is in Brazil right now. Brazil sits on the Security Council, and the Brazilians abstained from voting with us to support these actions. So there's a lot of questions out there, and to top it all off, I think Republicans in general do not like 1 foot in, 1 foot out. So at the same time we're launching Tomahawk missiles, and the French are in there with jets, and the British are helping us, we have the President of the United States and Secretary of State Hillary Clinton saying, well, this is all we're going to do. We're not going to have troops. Well, that is something, even if that is the plan, why would we say anything?
Okay, more on that after this. Live with our special 2-hour report on the situation in Libya. We're joined again by California Republican Congressman Devin Nunes, that's him in the upper right, by Lieutenant General Tom McInerney, retired 3-star Air Force general on the lower right, and Christian Whitten. We're joined now by a former U.S. State Department official, that's him on the lower left. General McInerney, Congressman Nunes, before the commercial break, made the point, very logical and reasonable point, that if you're not going to send ground troops in, why telegraph it? Are you concerned about that?
Yes, I am, Geraldo, and he also brought up what are the objectives. We haven't unified the country behind this, and we know the problems that happen even when you have a unified country behind it. So I think the congressman is bringing up some very important issues. We also have the issue of where are the Arab League countries? Is it just Qatar and the UAE, the United Arab Emirates? Why isn't Egypt and Saudi Arabia heavily involved in this? Because if we don't have a very strong Arab presence that the Arab League supported, then Gaddafi starts saying it's the Crusaders again. So I think the congressman's bringing up some very important things nationally that we have, and there are also some very important international considerations.
Christian Whitten, former U.S. State Department official, when do you think we should have gone in? Ambassador Bolton making the point that he wished we had the no-fly zone a month ago.
Right, well, a lot's happened in a month, and we've gone from a situation where the rebels were really on the march and had the initiative to one where they're defending their stronghold. Throughout this whole thing, the president has been very unclear, and only increasingly so lately. I think he said, we should protect the civilian population. He wants Gaddafi to be held to account, but those are more sentiments than they are an actual strategy for victory, and he hasn't taken the time to explain a concept of victory, the interest that the U.S. has in Libya, which I think there are many. But not a lot here that looks like a coherent strategy for victory, more of something that we've gotten into by a set of circumstances that we haven't even attempted to control.
Congressman Nunes, just sitting here watching this operation, when the war begins, everybody gets psyched up and juiced, and everybody wants to be patriotic and support the effort. The reason I opposed it is because I thought it would be a tar baby that would be very difficult to extract ourselves from once we got in there. Also, watching all the action, how much do those cruise missiles cost? What's that, $1-2 million a pop? We've done 114 of them today alone. Who's paying for the fuel? All those jets flying either off the deck of our aircraft carriers or from those bases in Italy. That's why I wanted another nation or other nations to lead the effort. What about that? What about the cost consideration? What happens if a U.S. plane gets knocked down?
Well, I don't understand the logic behind where we're headed and how we got to this point, because it just seems there's been a lot of confusion, like I was saying earlier. But one thing I am concerned about here, the rumor leaking out of the meeting in Paris, is that Hillary Clinton was very quiet, and the French and the British took the lead, and Hillary Clinton stayed quiet. Now, I don't know if that's true. That's just rumor. It's leaking out from diplomats all over the world on the wire right now.
I heard that she was the one that urged the president.
They'll be concerned.
I heard that she was the one that urged the president to get to get tough on Gaddafi, and that we couldn't ignore the humanitarian situation with Benghazi, the rebel-held stronghold in the east about to fall. I heard that she.
I think that's accurate, Geraldo. But what I'm talking about is the meeting that took place, the one that was on, that they talked about earlier today in Paris. I just don't understand why we would let other countries take the lead when we know that it's going to be most of our weapons that will have to be used, and the money will be our taxpayers that will have to provide it. So this is just something that there just seems we're a day late, dollar short here without a clear strategy in mind, and this could lead to bigger problems down the road.
As of right now, we're cheering on our men and women in uniform over there in harm's way.